The latest. Thank you for your love and support. The president of Chad has come out to explain the reason to which they have expelled French troops out of Chad. According to him, this cooperation between Chad and France existed for a very long time. But looking at things these days, this agreement that they have with France is a cake. It no longer serves the current needs of the people. Besides, they want to be a sovereign nation without any interference from anywhere. They want to take their security into their own hands. So for that reason, France must go. This is what we are all looking for in Africa. Our leaders have to sit down, look at the agreements that we have with these people for a very long time, and see whether it has really benefited us. According to him, France military bases in Chad has not done anything good for Chad. The reason to which they have set this agreement is not benefiting them. So they have to cut off ties with France. And that is what we have to do. Looking at all the things from centuries to this time, the West has never done anything good for us. Anything that we are in agreement with them is only benefiting them and not the Africans. So let's listen to the president. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa and in Chad, credit to Africa is powerful.
It is with great conviction and great responsibility that I address you this evening. Following the announcement of the decision taken by the government of the Republic of Chad concerning the breach of the military cooperation agreement between our country and France. Indeed, for several decades, Chad and France have maintained cooperation in several sectors, especially in the military domain. This breach concerns only the military cooperation agreement in its current configuration. This agreement had been signed at another time with other actors on both sides and in a different context. It aimed to meet the common challenges of another national, regional, and international framework. However, over time, this agreement has become obsolete, completely obsolete. It no longer corresponds to the geopolitical and strategic realities of our time, nor to our legitimate expectations in terms of the full expression of our sovereignty. In the same way, it brings us no real added value on the military ground when we face various and serious challenges, notably attacks of terrorist dimensions, national and regional security challenges, in front of which our forces of defense and security have been illustrated by a never-denied valor and an indisputable determination. They have demonstrated, proven, every time this is necessary, and everywhere they have been deployed, that they are more than capable of defending the integrity of our territory and ensuring the security of our citizens, as well as contributing effectively to the fight against terrorism on a regional scale. Now they are called upon to integrate the new gift from the rupture of this over-the-year agreement, which in concrete terms does not change anything at all.
La rupture de cet accord
On
doit
the contrary, the rupture of this agreement
au niveau de nos forces de défense et de sécurité plus d'engagement
must
et plus
generate,
de
at the level of our
confiance pour
forces of
mieux
defense and
défendre
security, more
l'intégrité du
commitment
Tchad,
and more
assurer
concentration to
la
better defend the
sécurité
integrity of
de
Chad
ses
and ensure the
populations.
security of its citizens.
Chers compatriotes, hommes de médias,
Dear
cette décision
compatriots,
n'a pas été prise de manière légère.
this decision was not taken lightly
Une réflexion approfondie
and results from a deep
et une
reflection and a
évaluation
thorough assessment.
minutieuse. Elle répond à un engagement
It
pris
responds to a prior commitment to the Chadian people.
à travers mon projet de société.
Through my
J'ai
project of
initié
society,
la promesse de bâtir des
I have put
relations
into practice the
réciproques
promise of building reciprocal
avec les pays frères et amis
and balanced
dans un
relations with
esprit
our brotherly country in a spirit of independence and
de la
respect for the
souveraineté.
sovereignty of the states.
En tant qu'État souverain,
As a sovereign state,
fort de ses 66 ans de marche depuis la proclamation
strong in its 66 years of march since the proclamation of the Republic,
et même dans l'obligation
Chad is fully entitled and even obliged to freely define its international relations,
de choisir les formes de coopération qu'il souhaite
to choose the forms of cooperation it wishes to
en
have,
fonction de ses priorités.
and to conduct its policy of defense according to its priorities.
À cette coopération militaire pour
We have also decided to put an end to this military cooperation
sur des domaines qui auront plus d'impact positif
to reorient our partnership with France
de nos populations respectives.
on areas that will have a positive impact on the daily lives of our respective populations.
Plusieurs facteurs parmi lesquels je cite
In addition, this decision is based on several factors,
la présence militaire
among which I cite the absence of reciprocity.
réciproque. Le Tchad ne doit plus accepter aux autres
The French military presence in Chad is not based on a reciprocal basis.
les autres. C'est le sacré principe.
Chad must no longer accept others. What is not accepted by others is the sacred principle of reciprocity.
Il est désormais
There is a need for
pour
reparation.
le Tchad de réparer,
It is now essential for Chad to repair the imperfections in its international relations,
choisir en toute indépendance les formes
to choose in all independence the forms and partners of its international cooperation according to its national priorities,
renforcement de nos capacités.
strengthening our capacities.
Cette rupture
This structure is part of our will to build a Chadian army
vienne en face avec toutes ses
with all its responsibilités,
plus autonome,
more autonomous, more committed,
dans l'accomplissement de sa mission
and more responsible in accomplishing its regal mission of defense of the country.
homme des médias.
My dear compatriots, men of the media, I would like to point out,
Lever toute ambiguïté.
to remove any ambiguity,
La rupture ne constitue en aucun cas
that this decision of repatriation does not constitute in any case
ni une remise en question de nos relations.
a rejection of international cooperation
Nous restons ouverts
or a question of our diplomatic relations with France.
avec l'ensemble de nos partenaires
We remain open to constructive exchanges with all our partners, including France.
dans le but d'établir de nouveaux cadres
And this is in order to establish new frameworks of cooperation
universels qui régissent les relations.
based on universal principles that resist international relations.
Nous réaffirmons notre ferme
In addition, we reaffirm our firm commitment to continue the fight against terrorism
et à œuvrer pour contribuer à la sécurité régionale
and will strive to contribute to regional security
et toutes les nations
in close collaboration with our neighboring countries and all the nations that share these concerns.
continuera de jouer tout son
Chad will continue to play its role and to occupy its place in the initiatives of strengthening peace and security
sécurité sur le continent africain
on the African continent in particular
travers le monde en général.
and throughout the world in general.
Notre priorité absolue reste la
However, our absolute priority remains the protection of our people and our territory.
Je vous invite, mesdames, messieurs,
I invite you, ladies and gentlemen,
dans son contexte approprié,
to take this decision in its appropriate context.
de repenser nos relations internationales
It is about strengthening our sovereignty, to rethink our international relations,
tant au Tchad qu'au sein de notre région.
and to assume our responsibility in building a sustainable peace, both in Chad and within our region.
De respect mutuel.
We will continue to work with all our partners in the spirit of mutual respect
Et à accompagner le Tchad dans la consolidation de ses capacités de défense.
We call on our allies to support our
Pour
approach
conclure, le gouvernement est instruit
and to support Chad in consolidating its capacity
en prenant attache
for defense and security.
française. Pour finir, mesdames, messieurs les journalistes,
To conclude, the government is instructed to proceed with the implementation of these decisions
la défense avec la France s'inscrit dans le cadre d'une
by working closely with the French party.
de nos priorités stratégiques. Le Tchad
To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, dear journalists, dear compatriots, this rupture of the defense agreement with France is part of a necessary reevaluation of our strategic priorities. Chad is not at all in a logic of replacing one power with another, even less in an approach of change of leaders.
notre pays croit avec foi
Our country strongly believes in its capacity to defend its integrity
assurer la sécurité de ses citoyens et leur
and to ensure the security of its citizens and their well-being.
donc
This decision is therefore a sovereign act, a well-thought-out act, a fully assumed act,
entièrement assumé
aimed at strengthening our national independence
notre indépendance nationale et répond
and at responding to a strong commitment to the people of Chad.
au peuple tchadien. Je vous invite donc,
I therefore invite you to convey this message
national et international,
to the national and international community in a spirit of patriotism and professionalism.
que Dieu vous bénisse,
May God bless you. May God bless Chad.
pays de tout